Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And in this one, guys, we have something special for you guys because I'm actually going to be doing a collab reaction of MMO Byte's content. And yes, guys, I know it's MMO Byte, but apparently, there's something he has to say about Blue Protocol and what they're doing with, I think, publishing. So our guest reaction person today is going to be Aodan, a friend of mine, and we're going to watch this and react and see what he has to say. So yeah, let's get into it. And Aodan is here in the Discord.
No one, absolutely no one, is a bigger advocate for Blue Protocol than I am. I have collectively amassed several million views over the course of
already it's like it's bad. It's really bad because this is the guy who was saying that Blue Protocol was going to be dead on release. I even made a video about this like way back, like how he was like saying that this game was going to be dead. So it's crazy to see him like switching sides. But anyways, let's continue.
The last few years for my Blue Protocol videos, and I have been hyping it ever since the day it was announced. I have played every single test phase that has been released. I've been fairly positive in the things I've been sharing. I've covered every little bit of information, every live stream, every class announcement, every adjustment that Bandai Namco has made for the game. But Amazon Game Studios, who are the North American and worldwide publisher for Blue Protocol, are essentially lagging so far behind the rest of the actual world that the game is essentially suffering a slow descent into death, a decline that could be easily avoided if they just released this year. And I'm going to talk about how and why Amazon.
Okay, go ahead.
That's a bold claim to make.
Yeah.
Without any actual information in a statement.
I honestly have no idea where this is coming from, because I haven't heard any news about Amazon Gaming when it comes to publishing besides honestly nothing. I haven't heard any news. I don't know where he's getting whatever he's getting from or getting into right now. Like, it seems like he's heard something about the publishing that I haven't. Is there anything new that you've heard about, or?
No. The AGS or Amazon Game Studios has been very tight-lipped about anything regarding the production of this, and to my knowledge, MMO Byte has no significant relationship with them. But there's two things. So his argument about if AGS just released the game, one, it would only be released on PC, which is what we've seen with Japan, which we're probably going to see with Korea, and what we're probably going to see with the Chinese or Southeast Asia release. Again, AGS is trying to release the game in 2024, not only on PC, but also on console. And we haven't had confirmation of crossplay, but considering that this is Unreal Engine 5, I would consider that to be on the table, if not what the goal is and why majority of the production has been pushed back. Besides the tweaks that AGS might or might not do to the game.
Yeah.
I think releasing the game right now just on PC, you're going to have the hardcore PC fans that have been waiting for this game for a while ready to play. But at the same time, like, you're missing a huge amount of players that are going to be on console who, they're going to get hyped. They're going to get, they're going to follow the PC hype and stuff like that and be like, when is this going to come to the consoles? When this is going to come to the console? The problem is once you start a live service, you then have to have both development for that live service and then also development that is developing it for the console versus releasing it all at once and then keeping everything in cadence from then on.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I don't think we've even heard anything about any of the other publishers having the game ready for console yet. I'm pretty sure they're just releasing on PC just like Bandai Namco did. So I don't know if he's going to mention that at all, but we'll just have to see. And honestly, I think the one thing I've heard about, I don't remember what publishers decided to publish. But I'm pretty sure that we got news of another publisher like saying that the game is ready, translation, everything's done. So maybe he'll mention something about that. But I definitely think you're right when it has to come to the work that needs to be put into publishing with console slash PC. But I really don't. I still don't understand like what his problem is yet. So we got to watch the video really quick. Let's get into this really quick.
We're killing Blue Protocol in just a moment. Before we do, if you're interested in playing the Japanese version of Blue Protocol, I have a guide on how to get in, how to install and play it in English. We have an active Discord server with tons of English players. I have my day 1 and day 2 impressions posted. I stream Blue Protocol and MMOs and gacha games every weekend.
Dude,
and finally, I just want to quickly shout out our patrons over on Patreon.
I don't like how he like makes it seem like he's really like into BP, like he's like a big BP like streamer, like dude, the majority of his videos that have to do with Blue Protocol are videos that don't have to do with Blue Protocol. He just puts BP in the name or thumbnail, and then just like fucking, it's about a completely different MMO, and then he'll mention it for a couple seconds, and then be like, okay, yeah, like let's not. I just want to say, like, let's not pretend like this isn't the guy who literally said that BP would be dead on release. You know, like.
For me to
God, I don't like it.
Regular videos like
Even
this.
Besides
I
that,
can't express enough how much.
There's the whole situation with that he covers multiple games. It's really hard to be invested.
He covers every game.
Community, yeah. If
Every
you're
game.
covering multiple different games, not to mention, you have to look at his context. His context is I cover MMOs and gacha games. Now,
MMO bite
against people who enjoy gacha games, but the development of a gacha game is vastly different than an MMO.
Completely, yeah.
The majority of MMOs he's had to cover over the last few years, not exactly the best ones.
I don't even think he covered, albeit I understand that Diablo 4 is like a light MMO, if anything, but like I don't even think he covered Diablo. Like I don't think he's really been on top of it. But like for me, whenever I see his content, it just seems like anime-esque MMO type stuff, like maybe some Throne and Liberty here and there, and you know, some random other stuff. I really barely pay attention to his content unless it has something to do with Blue Protocol, which is hard to differentiate what is and what isn't, because like I said before, he really will just put like BP in the title, and there will barely be any Blue Protocol content within the video. So like, but anyways, let's see what he has a huge problem about this time.
Over on the Blue Protocol PC subreddit, which is run by Commander A's and myself. Commander A's, of course, being the moderator over on the New World subreddit, pretty much sums up the state of Blue Protocol right now. Smilegate, the developer and publisher of Lost Ark in Korea, announced that they were going to be publishing the Korean version of Blue Protocol in 2023. What this means is that the game is localized and ready to release this year. In the next few months. Cayenne Tech announced today that they were going to be publishing Blue Protocol in Taiwan, in Hong Kong, and in Macau during summer of 2023. What this means is that Blue Protocol is currently localized into the respective languages displayed on screen right now, and that this game is going to be releasing, theoretically, in the next few months. Okay. Amazon Game Studios.
He's pretty much mad that almost everywhere else is getting the game, and Amazon Gaming is not publishing the game. Correct? Like that's what we're hearing. That's what it's getting at here.
That seems to be the gist of his argument. And again, I'd be surprised, but I'm pretty much 99% sure it's only going to be PC releases in those countries.
Exactly. Like this isn't news. None of this seems like news to me. We all knew this was going to happen, right? Like I can't name a single time that we thought that they were going to be publishing Xbox, PlayStation along with PC in these other places.
Yeah,
or even
also
them
he's
saying so.
Saying he's getting these this source of information from his subreddit, even though you could clearly see it was from Blue Protocol database, actual fans of the game. So I mean, there's a reason why there's two different subreddits for Blue Protocol.
Absolutely, yeah. This is not looking good. Be careful
which one you're getting resources from.
Announced that they had to delay Blue Protocol for an undisclosed reason, lagging an entire year behind every other Asian country that is going to be receiving the game. Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau. These are all regions that are going to be receiving the game a year or more ahead of the global, the worldwide version. What this means is that we're all going to play and we're all going to burn out. We're going to tire of the content before the game launches globally. This happened with Lost Ark. This happened with Soul Worker. This happened with...
Who's gonna burn out?
Barely anybody played Soul Worker, and the handful of people that played on the Korean servers for Lost Ark. I mean, Lost Ark was what, 5 years before it came to the West.
Yeah.
So like we're not talking a year, we're talking 5-year difference. And Soul Worker, I think, was actually more than 5 years. So the only people that are going to burn out are the people who like have that FOMO and have to play now. And
that's, I mean, literally like me right now. I'm literally trying to grind to max. I'm level 43 right now, going to max level Aegis Fighter, doing all of my quests, doing everything, all the side quests. I literally completed all the adventure rank boards, and I'm not even burnt out yet. So I just don't understand. Like, dude, he like, oh my god, like he's making some very big statements. Like, the game is brand spanking new. Like, I don't even think it's been out for more than 2 weeks, or not 2 weeks at all. Like, I'm so confused, dude. I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
The thing is like the people that are gonna get burnt out are the people who are going to basically no life these versions before the global comes out. And even those people, like, you have a completely different
that's me
reaction and experience once you actually start playing with your friends.
Yeah,
we have the global one. Like, you're gonna have to go through it all again, but did you really pay attention to all the story? Did you really do like everything, even if you did do everything? But like, dude, you're also going to be able to multi-class. You're going to be able to do other things. Maybe you run through on a different class, or you go through most of the story on a different class. I mean, there's different ways to not get burnt out. I'm a hardcore, meta gamer. Like, even my experience on the JP servers is going to be different than once I start playing the global. If you don't want to get burnt out, then don't play it so much. Like, if you're not a content creator, there's really no reason for you to burn yourself out playing the game. And I don't think the handful, it is literally going to be a handful of players that play both these foreign versions and play the global version. You're talking about probably less than 10% of the player base.
Not even close to everybody. And I'm just going to say this as someone who has pretty much been no-lifing this game. As someone who also has really had to play it by himself I've been Kiritoing Blue Protocol for the majority of the time, pretty much all of the time. So everything I've been doing, it's pretty much been solo, right? And I find myself knowing for a fact that when the time comes that I'll be able to play with my actual friends and grind with my actual friends, the experience will be completely different. There'll be nostalgia. I'll be happy. There will not be any burnt outness at all. If anything, it's probably going to be, and I might be wrong here, but depending on how we're playing catch up with Amazon Gaming and how they're publishing, and how the updates are rolling in, I feel as though it might even be better, just because when global does decide to come, I bet there will probably be more content on release than there was with the JP release. I'm assuming, since there'll be more content out that that Amazon Gaming should probably have access to, they might put a couple more updates in there before. I'm not saying we're gonna get like Blitz Lancer on release, but maybe a couple more dungeons, more bosses, or something like that. Because right now, a lot of people are talking about how in-game doesn't really feel like in-game. It doesn't feel grinding up. It doesn't feel like there's enough dungeons. It doesn't feel like there's enough hard bosses to do. It just feels like you're rinsing and repeating some of the content, which, as someone who's kind of there, I feel like when it comes to crafting, stuff like that, it does feel a bit not the best. But realistically, am I burnt out already? No. Will I be burnt out when it comes to America or when it comes to the West? Definitely not. Because I'll be playing with friends. There'll probably be more content. And if I am burnt out, which won't be happening, I'll probably just not play as much, which won't be a problem, Like,
Yeah.
Am I making
Plus a lot of
sense?
people aren't. Yeah. Plus a lot of people aren't tracking that there's like a lot of quality of life and
Yeah,
bugs that they're fixing currently that
yeah.
hopefully when we get the global version, it will be up to date on those bug fixes and stuff, making a smoother experience. I mean, like I see it as like the JP servers and the Southeast Asian servers as a way to test the game before it comes to global. And
Well,
honestly, I think
mhm.
that's smart on AGS because they can monitor what issues they ran into and make it smoother for a global release,
Like,
which quite honestly, other than Southeast Asia, I mean, the global release is going to be much bigger than the Japanese release.
yeah,
And it's going to be a lot bigger than like the Taiwan release, maybe not the Hong Kong, maybe not the Korea, but it's going to be pretty big. So the worst case scenario is they're behind on patching compared to the other servers, but once localization's done and everything like that, then they can focus on their production cadence to just be okay. Let's get the game up to date.
yeah,
And most players are still going to be grinding, you know, through a lot of the main content. Keep in mind the people who are hitting like level 30 plus in 7 hours. Again, that's like less than 5% of the player base. I mean, I'm playing Diablo 4 right now, and still the majority of the player base isn't even max level, and the game's been out for almost 3 weeks.
God, yeah. I mean, pretty sure. Well, wouldn't really have much to do with it, but yeah, I definitely hear you on that. I don't really imagine too many people know life. And honestly, I want to build on what you're saying. Like with the whole entire, like pretty much when it comes down to it, Japan and all these other places who are getting the game now, realistically, they're going to be the guinea pigs, correct? Like they're going through stuff that most likely the people getting the game later will not have to go through because they'll be getting a better game or a more finished game, a further updated game. Like a lot of people were complaining about the drop rates and the farming rates and some certain mechanics, some certain things. Those things are most likely going to be fixed, especially with Blue Protocol's dev team and just team in general. They're updating and fixing and maintenance every Wednesday, like everything. Like I doubt that the game that people are having problems with now is going to be the same game that we'll be getting in the future. And realistically, MMO Byte, it doesn't seem like he's even taking this like into account. I feel like he's kind of just like complaining more or less about the fact that they're getting the game first. How come we can't get the game? It's not fair. What? Like I guarantee you, he's gonna bring up something about Throne and Liberty or some type of thing. And trust me when I say I've been there. I've had my fair share of like I'm so pissed at Amazon Gaming. But let's just be honest, like for a second. Who cares if they're publishing Throne and Liberty? There's nothing we can do about it. If they do, no one's gonna play the game. At the end of the day, Blue Protocol is coming. At least we're getting it. Let's just be happy for that and move on.
Yeah, and again, like there's a difference between a publisher and a developer, and the good thing about AGS being the publisher is drop rates and stuff like that. That's something they can work with the developer to change, at least for that market, and make it more enjoyable for that market. Again, a lot of people don't understand that the Eastern market for games, the types of gamers in the Eastern market are vastly different than the West. What they look for and what they expect out of a grind is vastly different than the West slash global players, even European players. I mean, there's a lot to dig in there.
Jeez. Well, let's see what's going on here.
Closers, this has happened with a multitude of different Asian MMOs. Typically players will play it in the original form it was released, in the original region it was released in, and when it comes over, they're too burned out, they're too tired to invest time into playing it all over again, and they just don't care. There have been tens, if not hundreds of thousands of players that have tested the game out in Japan. A lot of them were banned over the course of the last few days. When the game launches in Korea, I guarantee you there are going to be equally as many people that test the game out via Smilegate servers. I don't think Smilegate is going to ban or censor or region restrict the game to the extent that Japan did, so we're going to have a lot more players reaching much greater lengths. Then there's the Taiwanese, the Hong Kong, and the Macau versions of the game. What this means is if they didn't play the Japanese version, if they didn't play the Korean version, or if they did, they're going to play the Chinese version, which means they're going to get their fix there. By delaying the global release of Blue Protocol,
Okay, getting to the point.
Amazon are essentially reducing the impact Blue Protocol would have by potentially tens, if not hundreds of thousands of players.
Okay.
False.
I just need
rejection.
no. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. He's not necessarily wrong, but let me say this. Okay, he's saying that the hype's gonna die down because so and so, and it's gonna take a long time. Guys, this game has been delayed for at least 5 years. Okay, the original hype for this game already has been watered down quite a bit, to the point where now you have people trying to say the game is overhyped. In fact, the game was overhyped because of it's not necessarily as crazy as it would have been if it had came out originally when it was supposed to come out. With the updates that it's seen today, the game that it is today came out the years it was supposed to come out. It would probably have taken the gaming MMO bubble by storm completely, utterly. But yes, the game has definitely been watered down a little bit when it comes to hype. And we literally saw over, what was it, like 20 million? I'm pretty sure they had a 20 million like player base or something like that. Like, I believe they rewarded their community, right? So the other day they rewarded the players with this notice saying that they hit like 20 million over, or just something to 60 million player base or something like that. And apparently that was it. So when I think of those numbers, if I'm correct, hopefully I am. When I think of those numbers, I don't think of, oh my God, the game really could have done better. I think that at least the game did this well. In my opinion, I feel like you already know, I am all about Blue Protocol, only BP, love BP. But at the end of the day, even I take a step back and realize, yeah, the game probably isn't doing the best that it possibly could have. It was delayed for a very long time. Of course, a lot of people who probably were super hyped about it, some people lost interest. That's only natural. Other games came out, other things happened. Maybe they stopped playing in general. But his statement, he's over exaggerating to a point that it just doesn't even make sense. Because Amazon Gaming, like at the end of the day, everyone who knows about Blue Protocol isn't necessarily losing hype and becoming a doomer because it's not coming out. They either are playing JP or they're chilling. They're waiting. Either way, the game's gonna get more hype. It's gonna gain more hype once Amazon Game starts advertising for it. There's gonna be new people who are interested in playing it. It's not the end of the world. Like I don't understand where he's coming from with this whole entire like, oh well, it's over now. Like the hype is just being completely killed. They're ruining Blue Protocol. Like I don't think they're ruining anything. The fact that it's not even being talked about mainly is probably evidence that it's not being ruined. It's just being worked on. I don't know. I don't like what he has to say about this. It's just weird.
I think he's definitely overblowing the whole hype thing. And to add to what you were stating, the one thing that AGS actually does really well is marketing. I mean, look at New World. When New World released, they had over, what was it, like almost 900,000 concurrent players. Like, I'm not worried about AGS being able to promote Blue Protocol when it's ready to come out. I mean, you're probably going to see Asmongold. You're probably going to see huge streamers who are going to bring a whole bunch of players who probably did not even know Blue Protocol exist, who are going to try out the game and maybe get, fall in love with it or not. The thing is that I think he's completely wrong on saying hundreds of thousands of players. Maybe thousands, definitely not hundreds of thousands. I mean, if I went and like polled all the people that I know who are following Blue Protocol, it's probably not even 1/12 of the people that I think would actually be interested in the game once it's out and in English. I mean, I think he's being a little ridiculous, but I mean, to a point, he's staying true to his character of being a sensationalist. So
it's just, I know he's known for blowing things out of the water, or like just saying anything for clicks or doing whatever he needs to do, And at the end of the day, I'm not here to shit on his grind. I'm not here to say, oh, this guy's just hot air. You know, he just wants to do whatever he wants to get whatever he needs to get. I'm just saying that realistically, what he's saying right now when he says that it's just completely killing or all these players are going to lose hype, it just doesn't make sense, because if that's truly the case, if that's truly the case, we would not have seen the actual numbers you can look up right now about or of BP JP. Like, we could look up numbers right now, and the hundreds of thousands that he's talking about that BP in America is going to end up losing. Like, I don't get it. Like, what? Hold on. Let me hear it again really quick, because I don't understand what he's saying.
By delaying the global release of Blue Protocol, Amazon are essentially reducing the impact Blue Protocol would have by potentially tens, if not hundreds of thousands of players.
Bro.
And I know some people are going to argue that point. They're going to contest that point. They're going to claim that players are still going to play the English version of the game. And I have no doubt in my mind that they will. But there are going to be a significant number of players, nonetheless, that are going to play the Asian versions first and either not bother to play the global version when it releases, the English version when it releases. This happened with PSO2. They didn't want to migrate on over and waste the
PSO2 10 years
worth of investment into their characters, or they're just not going to want to do it all again. So they're going to be inhibiting the English version by releasing it over a year later than the rest of the world. Like, this is not going to kill.
I feel as though he's just stating the obvious. Like let's be honest. What he's saying isn't necessarily false, but it's like, who the fuck cares? That's like with every single game that comes in Japan first. Of course, there's going to be players who don't want to move. Of course, there's going to be players who don't want to do it all over again. That's up to them. But who cares? It seems like he's making it seem like he's so worried about Blue Protocol coming out to the West and being good out in the West and how he cares about it so much. But if he is, why is he making it seem like he cares about it so much to the point where he's willing to talk shit about how it's coming?
Well, my issue, and where to me he shows a lack of actual understanding and compassion for the community of the game, is the lack of context that he gives. PSO2 was like 8+ years before it came to the West. Even with NGS is now, PSO2 NGS is now kind of concurrent with the Japanese version. But there's a lot of context that Lost Ark, 5 years before it came to the West. Yep. You're talking about a significant amount of development time between when it hit Asia and when it hit the West. It's hard to catch up with 5 years of development. It's hard to catch up with 3 years of development. 1 year, not so much, especially when they're going to be spending 1/4 of that year just doing, bug fixes and stuff like that. They're not going to be adding. Usually most games don't add a ton of content the first year.
And I don't even think there's too many games with like that type of gap, like a 1 year gap. Like, could you even name another MMO that has a 1 year gap between their original versus West right now?
Final Fantasy 11 MMO. It had that gap.
And how is it doing right now?
Fine. Well, it's a much older MMO now, but it's fine now.
Okay. And it didn't really have too much of an effect on the release, I would say.
No. And then Final Fantasy 14, I mean, it's fine. Like, everything's announced in the JP servers. Same with PSO2 NGS. Everything's announced with the JP servers, and then there's a little bit of a delay, a couple day delay for it coming to the West sometimes.
And it is what it is. It's natural.
Yeah.
It's like why are we acting like this is like game breaking? Like, this is like fan base breaking. Like, this is just completely gonna destroy the game for the West. Like, dude.
And another counter is, like, if you're playing the JP servers right now, let's say you max out, you're waiting months for the global version to come out.
Exactly.
You're going to be over the burnout by then. And if you haven't played the JP and you're going to go play, the Southeast Asian Chinese servers, like, unless you actually speak Chinese or one of the native languages it'll be translated in, you're likely not going to go that far. Now, I will give him some credit if the Southeast Asian version has English translations. If it does, okay. But I think the community of the game on the Chinese servers are not going to be the type of community that global players are going to stick around for.
Could be right there. Could be right there. All right. Let's see what else he has to
The
say.
game. But Amazon
I'm also surprised he hasn't talked
definitely
about
doing
Throne of Liberty at all.
everything they possibly can to inhibit the success that Blue Protocol would garner, all to promote that piece of shit Throne and Liberty that absolutely nobody fucking cares about. Seriously. Now, if you're interested again in playing Blue Protocol, right now,
at least him and me can agree on that. But again, like both the community managers and people that I've talked to at AGS have both said that the producing of Throne and Liberty has nothing to do with Blue Protocol. Completely different teams, completely different resources. Again, this is the issue that both people making content on this don't give enough context on, and that the average gamer, you can't expect them to really understand the difference between being a producer and being a developer. It's completely different wheelhouses and different ways to utilize resources. And TL has nothing to do with why or when Blue Protocol is coming out. I would say that it has to do with the fact that AGS probably wants a more refined product to push out, which we will get by waiting a little bit longer. And two, they're doing hopefully a cross-play title, but if not, they're at least releasing on consoles along with PC, which in the long run is going to be more healthy for the community. Not to mention, that's already going to hit a lot of players that otherwise would not be playing if we only did a PC release.
Yeah. I mean, oh God. Jesus Christ.
So at least I agree with him on the TNL thing. I mean, personally still believe that AGS should not produce it, but
yeah. And I was gonna say, like, I've actually made a video about it myself. Like, in reality, I can't bring myself to think that we would not be getting Blue Protocol in the West sooner if Throne of Liberty wasn't a thing. But in reality, I've come to the conclusion that it really doesn't matter, either way. Like, I feel like everyone who was excited, everyone who was waiting, has already gone through the mourning period, knowing that we're not getting it as soon as we thought we were going to get it, and that's fine. That's completely fine. I also think bringing up drama when it comes to other places publishing, and for some reason we're not publishing even though we weren't going to be, it's just pointless and kind of stupid, in fact. And it just really makes me like realize that this is just like what some people have to do to like get the
well, again, you have this group of players, the majority of players, who just don't understand the difference between developers and publishers. So it's a hot topic, and I get why he brought it up. But he also did not bring up any context and didn't really expand upon it. He basically jumped on the hate train with that comment.
And like a doomer.
Again, why I don't think Amazon should publish it is because the same thing that happened with Lost Ark. A lot of things that wasn't AGS's realm of responsibility as a producer or publisher, they had no say in a lot of the things that people had issues with Lost Ark. Like the biggest thing is the bot thing. AGS can only do so much to combat bots. Lost Ark was made for a Korean market, which they have completely different security measures in order to prevent bots that here in the West we just don't have, because guess what? Players don't want real ID. They don't want different ways that are better for combating bots and getting rid of botters.
I think you're right about that. But man, I mean,
and I guarantee you, if trading is another hot topic is trading in Blue Protocol. If trading is implemented, there will be botters, especially with low drop rates and stuff like that.
Absolutely. I mean, that just goes without being said, realistically. And I don't even think we'll have to worry about trading necessarily for a while, just because when it comes down to it, I feel like the next thing that they'll even be adding should probably be maybe housing, and then they might even go into like more dungeons, more in-game content, because that's what a lot of people are like worried about and stuff like that. And yeah, and I really think that Blue Protocol, the state that it's in right now, I don't think it's bad. Especially this is coming from someone who has been grinding like pretty much nonstop as much as I possibly can without getting banned. Even I'm actually very lucky to be able to still play the game. Um, but yeah, I think the state of Blue Protocol right now is really fine. It's really good, and in fact, when it comes to the West, I can imagine it being even better than it is right now. So that's just my two takes. That's just what I think.
No, I agree. I think it's going to be in a better state when it comes global. It's going to be on console. It will hopefully be crossplay.
Yeah,
That already tells me that there's going to be way more people playing it on the global version, even if they reside in Southeast Asia or Japan, because global version's not going to stop them from playing. There's not going to be any
exactly,
TOS that says you have to live in America to play the
exactly.
global version. So and not to mention, we saw this in PSO2, we saw this in Final Fantasy 14. There's tons of people who play both.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of people who play both. They play the JP and they play the global version.
Absolutely,
So
yeah, yeah,
again, the amount of people that he says are going to be affected that aren't going to play the global version is minuscule. It's going to
minuscule.
be
Yeah,
minuscule.
even I plan on playing both versions, because the way I see it, when Amazon decides to actually publish a game, um, I'm probably going to get through the content fairly quickly, even quicker than I did the first time with the JP version, just because I know more now. I have more experience, and then when I'm done with content on the west side of things, I'll probably go back to JP so I can then farm up the new content, see what they have over there, try the in-game experience, and maybe even bring back that knowledge to whoever I'm playing with, whatever guild I'm in, like, my friends, and just kind of go back and forth whenever I'm out of content. So really, I'm just getting the best of both worlds and getting to enjoy the game. So that I'm also very excited for. Very, very excited for it. But anyways, man, thank you so much for reacting to this video with me. I know it was a bit hard to watch, at least for me. I found myself not even knowing what to say because it just seems so silly. So silly. Such silly things were said in this video, but I think you had some amazing takes, and I look forward to making more content with you in the future. So let's get a
Appreciate it.
round of applause to Aodan. I'll make sure to link him in the whatever the hell in the back. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace. God, I shit on that video so bad. Oh fuck! I completely
Hey,
fucked up the end. I completely fucked up the end.
that's
Oh.
that's for your editor to fix.
Oh, whatever. I'm so fucking pissed right now. I didn't think I'd get as mad as I did watching that video. Like, I really didn't. I can't stand his content. I can't
And
stand it.
that's the thing, is like his content is sensationalist. Like he's just trying to get a rise out of people. And the thing is, he can project really
Oh,
well,
fuck.
and he makes really good simple edits. But
It's
at the
just
same
like,
time, he does what he does.
I feel like I genuinely just wasted like 5 minutes of my life, like over 5 minutes of my life. Like I don't understand how he get, like, his community must just be like anything he says is right. Because like, how could you, how, like, are all these people playing the game? Are all these people actually experiencing the stuff that he's talking about? Or are they just brainlessly listening to what he has to say and then saying, yes, that's right, that is the truth? Like, go out and figure out what is really going on, because half the
Well,
shit
and
he's
that's the
talking
thing,
about
like
feels like filler. It feels like One Piece filler. It feels like Naruto Boruto filler. Like, it doesn't matter. Nothing he has said in this video mattered remotely. Like, the problems that he's trying to come up with were damn near minuscule. Like, it's
and
just,
that's the thing. It's like he's just trying to get a rise. Like
It's
you got to think
working.
about it this way.
It's working. He's getting
This
it.
is the same guy. This is the same guy who made a separate community Reddit. He's made he's tried to make a separate community Reddit for every single game he's covered.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know if you dug that deep, but yeah, that's what
No.
he does.
No, I actually, here's the thing. I used to like his videos. But this is when I first started like getting into MMOs, right? Like I would just look at the ones where he's like offering what MMOs to look out for, this and that, and they were chill. But then I started watching the videos where he talks about said MMOs and talks about problems, and then it turned into, oh my God, you are literally just saying whatever the fuck you think sounds serious. Like you're just trying to cause issues. Half of the thing, more than half of the things that he talks about literally don't even exist. I swear to God. I feel like he just makes them up, and then he raises his voice a little bit, throws in some hands gestures, curses a little bit, and all of a sudden he has a video. All of a sudden he has content. If this was a real problem that could actually like maybe have an effect on the game at all, I doubt it would be a 5 minute and 55-second video. Strongly. I doubt that the title would be "They're killing Blue Protocol ...
Yeah.
And then like literally no sustenance in the bio or in the description. I'm not seeing anything in here with any real meaning. It looks like he just copy and pasted this from somewhere.